It's Yotta Laboratories and BlockMax. Gary, could you start and introduce yourself with the pitch deck sharing?
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, and to introduce Yotta Laboratories. So we are a UK-based company. We've now coming into close to our 7th year, and we have developed a lot of research and development in that period of time, and now moving into a commercialization market. So one of my key straplines is the only way we are going to predict the future is to create it. And that is quite key in what Yotta is all about, is being a holistic technology company moving forward. So, like I say, we're UK-based, primarily looking at distributed ledger technology as a whole, but blockchain and DLT is only one part of new emerging technologies. And where we envisage new technologies going in the future is to incorporate AI, but having the background of cybersecurity connected to the Internet of Things. Add that to AR, VR, machine learning, and it's key for new smart cities, smart homes, smart buildings, and that is our primary target and focus as Yotta. So as I say, we've done 150, well, more now than 150 real research use cases from an academia level. Some of these that I'll just touch on is agriculture. We are having a lot of discussions at government level, especially across Southeast Asia. COVID-19 has actually highlighted food security as a primary focus for a lot of governments, and also around sustainability. And vertical farming or indoor container farming is actually quite key and topical. We know the Singapore government had just released $12 billion US dollars on enhancing new emerging technologies. Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, we've got all the discussions going on. Very similar. COVID has actually highlighted digitization going forward, and it's very key to us at Yotta to be a part of this. We're part of the Smart Nation ASEAN Forum, and also across Australia as well. So our key services to Yotta is to build and develop an ecosystem, a decentralized cloud edge platform, which then can host products and software services in a decentralized platform. And edge actually reduces the latency, but also increases the data security and geotagging where data is. So our patented distributed cloud platform is a decentralized storage system, works exactly the same as traditional cloud, but it is highly scalable and is very easy to put into buildings that already exist, which is what is quite key for cloud data services as a platform. Is we are now producing more data on a day-to-day basis, and in the next 4 to 5 years, that is only going to increase. When we've got smart vehicles, when we've got everything connected to the internet, we are going to be developing a lot of data. And traditional data centers, there are currently out there are very electric heavy users. They've got big power plants, they've got big air conditioning systems. So by decentralizing it, we can reduce the power consumption by about 70%, but also increase the security. Because it is decentralized, the Yotta Cube can actually be put into multiple locations, and the data is shared and sharded as it's put in. So it reduces DDoS by 99%. And we've done lab experiments. It would take about 112 compute years to actually penetrate the whole system. But we've also got our own self-healing AI cybersecurity system that we've developed ourselves to be in the background as well to prevent attacks. It's also very scalable. So unlike normal centers, we can actually add cubes as they are required in buildings that already exist. So our main products with the cube is our reverse malware, which is a patented system that auto detects and is a self-healing, self-penetrating system. We've got semantic annotation, which is very unique to us and also patented, which is a complete game changer going forward in cloud data storage. And we've also developed a smart on-the-fly smart city protocol. One of the testings that we've done is IoT gas detection, which is currently being trialed in Jordan. And that is a smart detection, but it's on-the-fly sensor system that can be adapted for traffic lights, to street lighting, and even to recycling bins on the side of the street. So some of the conversations we're currently having is private medical insurance in Australia to eliminate fraudulent claims, which costs the government about 3 billion per annum. And we're also in heavy discussions for a Zakat government system for 50 million people, which exceeds around 13 billion per annum transactions. Smart cities is where, like I say, our key focus. So part of the ASEAN Smart Nation Network and incorporating our networks into smart buildings, smart cities, and having it as a bespoke standalone system, but an edge on the fly platform. We work very closely with the UK Department of Trade and Industry, and we also are advisors on the Smart Nation, but also cybersecurity in the UK for UK police forces as well. Part of our team is myself and Professor Al-Haj, who is a professor of cloud and cybersecurity. Our expansion plans, we are currently in UK and Singapore, looking at another location in Southeast Asia. We've got conversations going on in Canada, and we've got advanced conversations in Melbourne as well. So we've up to now held back on doing a token of our own. We wanted the market to be right, and we wanted it to be a true utility token. And the way that Yotta are planning on expanding is to bring in other parties under the Yotta brand, where we can use the token in a full ecosystem. Very similar to how you've said PayPal is, if you think of Amazon, Alibaba, how they operate, is it's not just one company, it's a plethora of companies all working in and all using our platform and all using our token. We're going to do an ERC20 to start with, but the next plans are to develop our own protocols going forward. So we're currently in the process of developing our own exchange and wallet and working closely with a partner to develop an ATM card that is crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto. One of the advantages of this is only 23% of Southeast Asia are actually banked at this moment in time. And we're having very advanced conversations with many governments about a digital system. There are currently 2 smart devices for every person in Thailand, for example, but only a small percentage have got a bank. This solution actually fits in with them perfectly. It's a low-cost solution, but it allows people to have bank services. And with our partners, there are other advanced normal banking systems that will be coming online in the near future as well. So we are currently at the forefront of a new revolution of digitization. COVID has actually pushed this forward to everybody's mindset. We can now work from home. We don't need big offices, and we can work anywhere around the world. So why not just have systems that we can pay people in minutes anywhere around the world, but also have an ecosystem where we can do that. So that is a brief overview of Yotta, and we welcome any questions later in the conversation.
Yeah, so we can now move to our judges to give feedback on both the projects, starting Yotta and then BlockMax. We'd like to go for Dimitri first. Dimitri, would you like to give your feedback and ask some questions to Gary first, and then the team of BlockMax?
Yeah. I checked the deck before the pitch of Yotta, and it looks very interesting. Especially, I used to work with one project, and we made some partnerships with Amazon Web Services and Alibaba Cloud. So I'm pretty familiar with that kind of business, with cloud services. So using blockchain in this sphere mostly will provide something new and better services to current cloud business. So I think projects have great perspectives. And questions about token, of course, because you looks like developing a classic company, but second side, it's your token. I heard it's fully utility, and it's really understandable how it will work inside of platform. But what is the plans more when using inside of a platform, about some listings, IO, what kind of services?
Yes, so thanks for that. So from a token perspective, we are planning on doing an IEO in the next few months. We are currently doing a pre-token sale at this moment in time, and also speaking to several institutional investors. Like I say, we're not a startup, but we are in startup mode. So we are bringing on board now institutional investors across India, Southeast Asia, and also Europe as well. And then what we believe is all about evolution. So we're doing the ERC20 to start with, and then to start developing our own protocols going forward. So it's always about creating new products to the market, and the utility side of it is within an ecosystem. Libra was slightly off the mark with what they were doing, and got a lot of bad press about it. But utility to, or token to token, is the way forward we see. And this is where the interexchangeable of tokens, and that's why we're designing the platform and the wallet and having it on your phone. So the back end will do all the work. So you can have a Moscow coin sent to us for a YEDS token and transfer it, and it's all done seamlessly in the back end. But the advantage to that is we can actually pay staff's wages. We can, whether they're in UK, India, Singapore, and it's transferred into their wallet. So there's a lot of advantages going forward. That we've got a lot of products and services that we're going to roll out, and that's why we're pushing forward for the investment round through token and through traditional at this moment in time.
So we have two more judges to ask you questions. So we have next Gaurav, who is going to ask, give feedback, followed up by any questions and clarifications from both Yotta, Gary, and the team of BlockMax. Gaurav, over to you.
Depends on how much time do you want to give me. I can keep asking questions for the next 5
We would
days.
like to, very good question, and really appreciate that. We have another 10-15 minutes to get this session over, so please.
Okay, 5 minutes, I guess, right? Okay, I'll try to wrap up in less than that. Gary, can you explain how, at a technology level, how does the cube works? And is it a sort of distributed hypervisor, or are you like, what sort of architecture is it in distributed computing? And how does the token intrinsically interacts with those functions?
Okay, so the cube itself is a Kubernetes decentralized edge. So the architecture that we have done ourselves, we've got the laboratory at the university that we have done with myself and Professor El-Hajj. So it's a Kubernetes network for cloud data storage and also platform. Putting it on the edge reduces the latency. So the architecture itself is to allow cross-network storage that is on the edge, but also can also be used in traditional cloud architecture. The key here is the scalability of it. And when you say about our utility, is the utility of the edge platform is there are going to be an abundance of applications going forward that are edge specific, that allow applications in geolocations. And this is where the edge cloud platform is quite key. We already know the advantages for autonomous vehicles moving forward, but also autonomous deliveries in drones.
Can I interrupt you, Gary?
Yes.
We are moving away, slightly away from the topic. We are not talking about applications. I'm talking about, let's say so first question, can I deploy my Linux box on your cloud? Is
Yes.
it possible?
Yes.
Okay. How will I interact? How do I interact with your system? Is this SDK? Is this file transfer? How do I interact? Let's begin with that, as simple as that.
Yeah, so there are SDK and you can do FTP on there. We're currently advancing some other operations on the cube itself with our partners in Singapore as well. So the actual cube itself is in prototype format, but we are advancing the actual cube. What we have got is the security side already done, and also the platform in beta.
So if as a contributor, can I contribute my computation to your network? I have a line computer with some processor, some RAM, and some storage. Can I add it to your network and sort of do the mining? Not technically mining, but yeah. Is it possible?
No, it's going to be a private system rather than a public network. So the cube itself is a closed network. So that is where the interest is coming from a government level, because it is a closed private network. So within cities, I won't mention the government, but we're talking to a government about placing the cubes in every embassy around the world, which is 230 embassies. So it won't be open at this stage. We have got plans for that in the future.
So it's not like it might be decentralized, but it's certainly not open, right?
Correct. So it is a DLT
public
system.
It is a DLT, private DLT system.
Yes.
Now, when you say you're trying to deploy it across embassies, that raises a serious question on the cost. What sort of cost are we looking at in reference to AWS?
So the actual cost to store gigabytes or terabytes of data is a lot cheaper than AWS, purely because it's a 70% cost reduction on the operating cost, because we haven't got the large buildings, we haven't got the large aircon units that are using or the electricity usage.
Why so?
Sorry, because
Why
the cubes themselves are of a size that you don't require all the cooling systems to actually cool them. So because you're decentralizing, because you're putting them in existing built, very much like ATM machines that are all around the world, a cube will be a similar size to a small or a large ATM. So we can actually deploy them in buildings that already exist, that have already got existing aircon, and are already secured. So Singapore is a prime market.
Okay, I'm sorry, Gary, I've got less time. So when is your token sale starts? When does your token sale starts?
So the pre-sale is now. So we have already started the pre-token sale at 30 cents a token. And we're going to do the IEO later this year, probably September time now, because we're also onboarding several.
Have you raised anything on the tokens?
On the tokens, we've only just started, but we have done around 3 million in cash injection over the years, and we've also got obviously private. Personal investment from myself that's come in as well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, Tony is about to leave, so he is going to quickly give you some feedback and ask some questions. Tony, I know that you are going to leave soon, so we give you the floor now to give your feedback to both the projects and ask some questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Sorry, I've got another meeting right now. Okay, I'm going to ask the same question to both. So I'll go Rosie first. Same question to you, Gary. Where are you going to be issuing? Which country is the legal entity going to be issuing your token from?
It will be Singapore as well.
Okay. Okay. So the second part from that is you both decided on Ethereum. Why? How did you decide on Ethereum, and is there plans in the future to create your own blockchain for your system? Gary, if you can go first.
Yeah, so we're starting with Ethereum, but what we want is our own protocol going forward, which is part of our roadmap. So that is quite key to us. What we want is to be able to control our own destiny, and Ethereum is quite stable as a company, but we want to control our own destiny. So that is our roadmap in the future.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and the next thing is, the last question for both of you in regards to income. Okay, when will the project start generating income? Gary, yourself, you've already got the infrastructure to roll out, and your token, you've already got your own infrastructure. So do you think that your token will become profitable or generating value income in a short amount of time?
Yeah, so we're looking at the wallet, the exchange, and the prepaid card system in the next 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay, perfect.
Which will then be live.
Okay, perfect. That's all I wanted. So it's the whole thing with myself and my investors. It's always looking at when it's actually going to generate money, or is there more cash going to need to be got? Perfect. Okay.